Nashville is one of those markets where a home can look perfect in photos and still be a very complicated buy. You can see fresh paint, warm lighting, a pretty kitchen, wide plank floors, a covered porch, maybe even one of those tree-lined streets that makes you start mentally placing your furniture before you've even finished the showing. But buying a home in Nashville, Tennessee is not just about whether the house feels charming in the first 10 minutes. It's about the lot, the crawl space, the drainage, the renovation history, the street, the school zone, the school commute, the HOA, the inspection report, and whether the price actually makes sense once the emotion settles down. So today I want to walk through the types of homes I would be very careful buying in Nashville and Middle Tennessee, not because every one of these homes is a bad house, but because these are the ones where buyers can get distracted by the pretty parts and miss the expensive parts. And if you're moving to Nashville, buying in Franklin, looking at Brentwood, relocating to Williamson County, or trying to decide still which Nashville suburb actually fits your life, this is the kind of information I want you to have before you fall in love with the wrong home. I'm Erika Kurre, and I help people like you move to Middle Tennessee from all over the country and around the world. The first type of home I would be careful with here is the house that looks beautiful upstairs but has problems underneath. In Middle Tennessee, crawl spaces matter more than a lot of buyers realize. We have older homes, wooded lots, sloped yards, mature trees, additions, renovations, and plenty of homes where the main level looks calm and polished, while the crawl space is quietly telling a different story. I don't say that to scare you, because crawl space issues are common here, and many of them can be corrected. But you do need to understand what is happening before you buy. When I'm walking through a home with buyers, I am paying attention to things like musty smells, soft spots in the floor, cupping hardwoods, doors that stick, visible cracks, uneven transitions, standing water, fallen insulation, missing vapor barriers, and whether the yard is graded in a way that sends water toward the house instead of away from it. A home can have a gorgeous kitchen and still need real money spent below the floorboards. This matters in Nashville, Brentwood, Franklin, Bellevue, Oak Hill, Forest Hills, and on and on and on. We have a lot of mature lots and older housing stock. So the answer is not always to walk away. Sometimes the answer is just to investigate, price it correctly, make sure it's priced correctly, negotiate. I negotiate price. I negotiate repairs. We try to understand what you'll need to handle after closing, though my clients, we want everything done for you so you don't have to deal. But the mistake is pretending the crawl space just doesn't matter because the living room has pretty beams. You get what I'm saying. This second type of home I would be careful with is the renovated home where everything looks new, but nobody can clearly explain what was actually done. Nashville has some incredible renovated homes, especially in areas like Franklin, Brentwood, Green Hills, Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Sylvan Park, the nation's East Nashville. We have older pockets throughout Davidson County and Williamson County, and I love a thoughtful renovation. Don't get me wrong. But what I do not love is a house where the updates stop at the camera lens. New counters do not mean new plumbing. New light fixtures do not mean the electrical system has been updated. Fresh tile doesn't mean the shower was waterproof correctly. Pretty paint doesn't mean the roof, HVAC, windows, sewer line, or foundation are in good shape. When you're buying a renovated home, you want to know what was replaced, what was repaired, what was simply just made to look better. Was a wall moved? Was square footage added? Was a bedroom created? Were permits pulled? Did they update the major systems, or did they just spend the budget where buyers are most likely to look first and stop there? This is where a lot of buyers get emotionally hooked. The kitchen photographs beautifully, the staging feels warm, the bathrooms look current, and suddenly the practical questions feel like they're interrupting the romance. But those practical questions are exactly what protect you. A good-looking renovation can absolutely be a good buy. You just want the house to be as solid as it is photogenic. The third type of home I would be careful with is the home where the lot works against the house. This one is very Nashville. A home can be beautiful inside, but sit on a lot that creates long-term frustration. Maybe the backyard is too steep. Maybe the driveway is awkward. Maybe the house sits below the street. Maybe the outdoor space photographs well from the angle, but it doesn't function well for children, pets, entertaining, or resale. Maybe the home has privacy in the listing photos, but when you actually stand there, you realize the neighbor's deck feels like it's been invited to dinner. In Middle Tennessee, the land is part of the value. People move here for trees, hills, porches, yards, privacy, scenery, and space to breathe. So if the lot is difficult, you need to understand how that affects not just your daily life now, but your future buyer pool as well. This is especially important in neighborhoods where buyers compare homes at higher price points. In Brentwood, Franklin, Oak Hill, Forest Hills, Westmead, Belmead, College Grove, Leapers Fork even, the house matters, but the setting matters just as much. A luxury buyer is not only asking how many square feet is it, they're asking how does the property live? Can you use a yard? Is there room for a pool? If that matters to you, is the driveway easy for guests? Does the backyard feel private? Does the home sit well on the lot? Is there enough natural light? Is the outdoor space something you will actually enjoy? Or is it just something that looked really good online and is a pain to maintain? A difficult lot is not always a deal breaker, but it should be priced like one if it limits the way people can live in the home. The fourth type of home I would be careful with is the house in the right zip code, but the wrong micro-location. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see buyers make when they're relocating to Nashville. They'll hear about a popular area, search the zip code, find a house that seems like a better value, and assume they have found a hidden deal. Sometimes they have. Sometimes the house is priced lower because the location inside that zip code is not always strong. And I experienced this with a lot of buyers in Brentwood. A lot of times, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. You have to lean into that and share with me so I can tell you what the real story is there. But our pockets around here, Franklin, Brentwood, they're all very pocket specific, even within the same school zone. The feel can change from one street to the next. You want to understand road noise, traffic patterns, future development, commercial proximity, train noise. Is a data center going in here? Cut through streets, drop-off patterns, how the commute actually feels at the times you'll be driving it. A house may look great on a Sunday afternoon, but feel very different on a Tuesday morning when everyone is actually trying to get to school and work. And this is where it helps to test the lifestyle, not just tour the house. Drive the route to work, drive to the grocery store, take the kids to and from the schools, see how far it is from the places you'll actually go. If you're considering Green Hills, Belmead, Westmead, Bellevue, Brentwood, Franklin, Nolensville, and on and on and on, down to College Grove, out to Leapers Fork, the daily rhythm matters. A home is not just how you sleep, it's how your week functions. The fifth type of home I would be careful with is a condo, townhome, or shared wall property where the HOA story is unclear. I'm not against condos or townhomes. For the right buyer, they can actually be a smart choice, especially if you want location, lower maintenance, walkability, or a lock and leave lifestyle. I actually own a couple condos myself, so I'm not against them at all. You'll see options that are really attractive in West End, Midtown, the Gulch, Germantown, Cool Springs, Brentwood, and Franklin, and other areas where convenience is a major part of the value. But shared ownership does come with shared responsibility. And shared responsibility can get expensive if the association is not well managed. Before buying, you want to know what the HOA covers, what it does not cover, whether the reserves are healthy, whether there have been special assessments, whether there are major repairs coming, what the rental rules are, the general budget, what their budget patterns have looked like, and whether the monthly fee supports the long-term condition of the property. I actually have a list of questions and contingencies that I build into every contract with my buyers, that we have to know these things for this home to close, because it's that important to know. It can cost you tens of thousands of dollars if you don't know the answers to these questions. So the monthly payment for your mortgage is not just principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. If there's an HOA, that fee is part of the real cost of ownership, and there could be special assessments that add to it. Sometimes these HOA dues that are normal, there's the monthly dues, those can be completely reasonable because it covers valuable maintenance and protects the community. Other times, it's the polite little envelope where future repair bills go to hide. So don't just ask, how much is the HOA? I have so many other questions that I will guide you to ask. Like, what does the HOA actually protect me from? What could it expose me to later? Those are much better questions. The sixth type of home I would be careful with is the home where radon, termites, or wood-destroying insects are treated like minor details. In Middle Tennessee, these are normal due diligence terms, not dramatic ones, so you wouldn't be crazy by asking for these inspections. Radon can be present in homes even when everything looks clean and well-maintained. Termites, wood-destroying insects, deserve attention here as well, especially with older homes, crawl spaces, wooded lots, moisture conditions, and properties that have had deferred maintenance. This doesn't mean you should panic every time something shows up on an inspection report, though. A good inspection process should help you just understand the difference between a manageable issue, a negotiable issue, and something that deserves a more serious conversation. The goal is not to find a perfect house. Perfect houses are rare, and the ones that claim to be actually perfect usually do still have something interesting waiting in the inspection report. The goal is to find a home where the risks are visible, understood, and priced correctly, and that you love and can live there. This is a very different way to buy. The seventh type of home I would be careful with is the home that is simply overpriced for its pocket. This is probably one of the most important conversations in the current Nashville real estate market. Nashville is not the same market it was during the frenzy. Buyers have more choices than they did a few years ago. Homes are taking longer to sell in many areas. Sellers still have valuable homes, but buyers are more selective. The money didn't disappear, it just got pickier. And that's actually a good thing for a smart buyer. But it also means you cannot assume a beautiful house is automatically priced correctly. A home can be stunning and still be overpriced. It can have designer finishes and still be too expensive for the street. It can have new construction and still sit on a lot that hurts resale. It can be in a desirable area but have a floor plan, backyard, road position, or pricing strategy that makes it harder to justify. This is especially important in luxury real estate across Nashville, Brentwood, Franklin, College Grove, Leapers Fork, all of the places I love to talk about. At higher price points, buyers are not just paying for square footage, they're paying for setting, privacy, school zoning, architecture, construction quality, neighborhood strength, commute, land, lifestyle, and resale confidence. So if a home is priced like the best house in the area, it needs to behave like the best price in the area, not just photograph like it. And this is where strategy matters. The goal is not just to win a house just so you can say you got it. The goal is to buy the right house in the right location at the right terms with the fewest expensive surprises possible. So what should you buy instead? You want a home where the story makes sense. The condition, the price, the location, lot, inspection, findings, resale path, and daily lifestyle all need to line up closely enough that you're not forcing the house to be something it's not. I love Nashville and Middle Tennessee, and I understand why so many people want to live here. You can have city energy, historic neighborhoods, rolling hills, acreage, views, private communities, walkable town centers, equestrian properties, and quiet streets that still feel connected to everything. But buying well here requires more than liking the house. It requires understanding the pocket, the property, and the trade-offs. And that is where I do not want you guessing. If you're thinking about moving to Nashville, buying in Franklin or Brentwood, relocating to Williamson County, or trying to figure out which Middle Tennessee neighborhood actually fits your family, I would love to help you think through it clearly. You do not need more noise. You need a plan that fits your life, your numbers, and the way your family actually wants to live. Text or email me anytime. And for the fastest way to talk through your move, use the Typeform link in the description to book a one-on-one Zoom with my available times. I'm Erika Kurre, and I would love to help you make Nashville home the smart way. I'll see you in the next video.